winners. You're
watching Ben Webster Sports, and today I am here with Christ Community Church pastor and my second-year co-commentator for football, Andy Huette. Probably the best partner I could have asked for, really, to join me alongside the calls on Route 24 Radio. But Andy, I'm so glad to have you here in this basement, but it should be a good time.
Great to be back, Ben. I'm really pumped for football season. I love commentating alongside you.
Yeah, so let's kind of jump into what we're going to talk about. We're pretty much just talking football for EPG in this video, but I want to go back to something that I said in Seneca when the season ended, that the future is bright for EPG football. And since you have a son on the team, Silas, this year, you've been able to get some insights with what the team's going to be like this year. So could you kind of just explain some of that?
Yeah, my son Silas is just a freshman, but they practice all together. So just seeing the team, been reminded of all the players we have coming back. And most of our offense last year came from underclassmen who are back this year with another year of experience under their belts. And I just really like where the culture's at. I love what the coaching staff has done to get a lot of buy-in from the players. Their summer workouts, they've had 40, 45, 50 kids there a lot of times, and a lot of excitement for this year.
And kind of a lot of excitement, like as a team as a whole. There's a lot of excitement. We kind of talked about this before we pressed record, but with a lot of the players as well, and specifically with the speed that we have on this team, and kind of Owen Adams at quarterback as well. We talked about Owen Berquist as well. So do you just want to like dive into like each of those sectors, like the speed that we're going to have, like Owen Adams quarterback play, and maybe add in some Owen Berquist with defensive back and kicking as well?
Yeah, I mean, I think we should say to the viewers this is all speculation. We don't have any insight on who's starting, on who will play what positions, but we can assume some of the guys that played certain positions last year will be back in those spots.
Yeah.
And the strength of the team really seems to be speed. The Maxon brothers last year, Javion and Siobhan Maxon, who are now a junior and a sophomore, really had great receiving years. Both of them had a lot of yards, have really good hands and great speed. Owen Adams, there's really an advantage if you have a sophomore get a lot of reps at quarterback, then another year of learning plays, and so comes into this season with a lot of knowledge and in-game experience. Something we've talked about a bit on the air last year, but also just together. Owen and Adams, we knew had a good arm. We knew he was a baseball player, and so we were kind of expecting a good passing game. I think what surprised us was how good of a runner he is, and he's a big kid, a big quarterback, and they ran off tackle a lot, and really he's going to be hard to stop again. He can run through you or he can pass, so excited to see that.
And kind of just touching on like the running game as well, like when you add in like the running backs that we're going to see this year, again, speculation, but like an Aiden Adams, a Harlan Tillian, who we saw toward the end of last year, a Ben Graham, who runs a 4.7 40, by the way.
Yeah.
That's posted up in the weight room if you go there. But yeah, the speed that we're going to have out the backfield, the speed that we're going to have at receivers, like we're getting a Brayton Hayes on the roster as well this year, which I think is a very surprising addition. Again, speculation, but if he is playing a lot this year, I think having both the Maxon brothers and Brayton Hayes at receivers is going to be dangerous. Because you get those guys in open space, they could be gone in 0 to 60 in like 2 seconds.
Yeah. So I think going back to the running backs there, we really liked what we saw from Harlan Tillian and Aiden Adams last year as young guys running through guys. You did not want to have to tackle them, and that's a great thing.
Especially Harlan, because he's like he's buff and he's fast.
Yeah, and so young guys getting that experience last year, coming back hungry and expecting more. So excited about the running game. You mentioned speed. You mentioned Ben Graham. I got a Ben Graham story. So this is from JFL a number of years ago. Ben Graham was the quarterback. Back this was probably 3 or 4 years ago, and he was really hard to catch on the field. But I remember one play, he was running to basically a wide open end zone. He had a third of the end zone to run into. Could have just gone right to the pylon, and he turned it up at the last second and found the guy and just ran over to go into the end zone. He's not a big guy, but he's a football player. So super excited for the youth on this team, and yeah, speed is going to be an advantage.
Yeah, we're kind of talking about a lot of the strengths as well, but again, we discussed this off of camera, kind of a bit of a question mark that we might have is kind of like the linebacker group and kind of the offensive line and defensive line. You know, a lot of seniors graduating, Todd Palmer, Ryan Kelsey, Parker Cooper, to name a few. And what do you kind of think will be the case at kind of those positions going into this year?
Yeah, I'm super excited to see how that's going to play out because we did lose a ton of like our beefy guys. We're seniors. All-state player Ryan Kelsey, we loved announcing games where he was playing. He just destroyed guys.
Yeah, especially those formations where they had him in the backfield.
Oh yeah, that's right. So it'll be interesting to see who has to step up. Certainly there are guys, there are linemen who are ready to go and have been working hard. I don't know who that will be, but I do foresee it's going to be a younger line. And so typically what will happen in those first few games, there will be some miscommunication. There'll probably be some holding. You know, I'm guessing the coaches will say, because we have a good backfield, they'll say, whatever you do, don't hold and just trust that Owen or Aiden or Harlan will figure it out back there. So we're probably going to see that a little bit in the first few games, but I think they will come together on the offensive line and defensive line. I also want to say Lucas Schaefer was a really stable, steady presence in the middle at linebacker, and he's graduated as well. There are definitely guys who are ready to play linebacker and get hard, but I think we're going to miss him, at least at the beginning, where he had been there a few years in the middle.
Yeah, well, we kind of talked about the team overall, but obviously we can't talk about the team without talking about playing other teams.
Yeah.
So obviously I think we have a decently good schedule for us this year, except we have GCMS, we have the Eureka's, we have the Tri-Valleys, we even have Shelbyville at home, which I think is going to be a great advantage. But what do you kind of foresee like going into those games throughout the season? Because Reed-Custer week 1, that might not even be a guarantee because this is only the second time in school history that we're playing.
Yeah, it's so hard to know at the high school level because you don't know who graduated and who's coming up and what players they'll pull up. And the crazy thing about football is every game matters for the postseason. In basketball or baseball, track, cross country, you can kind of experiment and try and be peaking at the postseason. But football, you can't afford to lose those early games, and so really you just got to take care of the game plan you set out. And I think our coaches, I know our coaches have been working hard, are really well prepared. And again, because I have a son in the program now, I've been able to see some of their plays, and I've just been super impressed with the complexity. I guess I played 20 years ago, so times changed. Yeah. But I love the offense they have installed, and I know they'll keep installing plays throughout the season. But Tri-Valley always going to be tough. It's fun to have Fieldcrest at home.
Oh yeah.
And hopefully get a big W there to our rivals to the north.
Well, kind of touching back on Tri-Valley, do you think this may be far-fetched of a question to answer now, but do you think that this maybe could be a year that we beat them?
I'm going to say yeah, I am. I mean, in one sense,
I love it.
In one sense, we don't know what our team's still going to be like or their team. Other than when you have offensive weapons, which I think we do, anything can happen. It's like March Madness where a team that can make threes.
Oh yeah.
Right? It's like, all right, we can shoot 3 ball, let's go. And I think we have a lot of weapons. I think you're going to see a lot of run-pass option where Owen Adams goes up to the line and looks at the defense, and he's going to find the hole. And it could be triple option stuff where he can pass, he can run, he can hand off. When you can do that, you can hit the three ball, and we can see some upsets.
Such a video game sounding offense. I love it.
I love it.
I've played a lot of college football 26 recently, and just hearing the run pass option, it just immediately clocks in to that video game. But also, we're going to kind of move on from Tri-Valley. We're going to look at like Eureka. Last year, not sure if you were at that game, it was on the road, but we struggled to move the ball, and that was midway through the game. We got Owen Adams in for the first time, and he showed some signs, which he then built on for the rest of the season. Do you think that we could possibly give them a run for their money as well?
Yeah, absolutely. And again, we don't know what they have out there.
Well, yeah, sure.
But I think one of the interesting things for fans to watch is going to be time of possession, because when you have a high-powered offense with a good passing game, when it's good, but you can go 3 and out really quickly and only take 45 seconds off the clock. And because there are a lot of unknowns in our defense, we're going to need to be really careful with time of possession. But speaking of defense, Ben, I do want to say one thing I'm excited about for our defense.
And that is?
That is our defensive backs.
Yes.
Our corners, our free safeties. Fans, be ready for some interceptions this year. I think it's going to happen.
You heard it here first.
That's right. Mark it down. You're going to see some hopefully some pick sixes, but I think you'll see some interceptions this year. We have a great group of cornerbacks, defensive backs. I'm excited for that.
That'll be fun to call as well, especially if we get more defensive touchdowns. I think we only had one of those throughout all of last season, and that was at Tremont.
Yeah, I was listening to you on the radio, actually.
Yeah.
So it was a joy to listen on the radio for that one.
So kind of moving on from Eureka, we're going to kind of look forward more into the schedule a little bit, because weeks 8 and 9, those are big games on the schedule for us. Clinton on the road, and then Shelbyville at home last regular season game. What do you think those two games would kind of be like? Would those maybe be trap games depending on our record? Again, speculation.
Yeah, I think those games are very winnable. Again, we don't know what their record will be at that point in the season, but one of the things I think is going to be a strong suit for our team is all the experience that our now juniors got last year. I think I heard someone say that most of the kids who scored last year didn't have their driver's license yet even, and so now they're coming back. Now obviously football is a lot more than about just who puts the ball in the end zone. There's linemen, there's blocking, there's all the things, but and we lost some key seniors, but my point is this: we have a lot of experience coming back, and I think in those close games that could seem like a toss-up on the schedule, having a quarterback who's only a junior still, who got a lot of game experience last year, is a big deal in those close games, because the game slows down and they don't lose their heads in that moment. And they're like, no, we can win this.
How would you kind of apply the experience thing to a game like at Seneca last year? We were doing so good in that first half. We were up at the half, if I can recall correctly, but then the wheels just fell off, especially in that third quarter. So how can you kind of apply the experience thing to like potentially a first round playoff game, like where everything's on the line?
Yeah. I would love another crack at Seneca, actually, because I thought we looked great in the first half, and then you could see we kind of got punched in the mouth early in the second half, and you could just see our youth come into play there, where we weren't ready to bounce back. So I just think that the more games you play, I mean, it's a crazy thing. You're under the lights. There's people running full speed at you. There's play calls coming in. There's just a lot of moving pieces. The more games you have, it slows down. You're able to think better in that moment. And so I just think the experience coming back is going to be huge, hopefully in that first round of the playoffs, which will take us then, maybe into the second round.
Kind of speaking about the playoffs, assuming we do make the playoffs for a fifth year in a row, do you think week 11, second round of the playoffs, do you think that's attainable?
Absolutely, and it's fun to be talking about this. That El Paso Gridley football has established itself, I think, as an annual playoff contender. That's a big deal that we shouldn't take for granted. But now I think the culture is such, and some of the experience coming back, that we can take another step, and you just you build on that. I mean, Tri Valley every year when we see them on the scuds, we're like, dude, they're gonna be good. That doesn't happen overnight. It takes a culture that builds that, where you get guys coming in at a young age, working hard, young, and I think EPG football has just taken some really good steps where now the playoffs is really expected, and now I think we can take some steps forward.
Yeah, and Coach Benedict, he's done a great job with that, because obviously after COVID, he was actually at Lexington for a few weeks, and then he came back to coach football for us, if I recall that correctly. But yeah, he's just really done well with this program, and like you said, I just think that we could really take some steps forward as a program. And considering, going back to what I said at Seneca last year, like the future is bright. Mm-hmm. If we can really take a step forward this year, that could set like a precedent for other teams that would come after that. So I think this year is kind of a big year in terms of that. Not trying to put any pressure on the players. Don't listen to anything I just said.
Well, I do want to speak to that real quick though. So having been around the weight room and the field a little bit, hearing the guys, I've really liked the leadership from our many of them are still just juniors, but some of our returning starters, I think there's a tenacity and a seriousness about them that, you know, for freshmen coming in, it's like, if you're showing up here, it's time to work. It's time to get down to business, and that's gonna be fun. But I love the tone that I'm seeing from these guys. Great leadership.
Yeah, and that's going to contribute to like the whole culture aspect as well. And it doesn't just take things from a player's side to be good as a culture. It takes things from a coach's perspective as well. And again, Tanner Benedict, he's done a great job with that.
And his staff. I think he's got a lot of guys, other coaches in really good spots, and they seem to work
like
really...
a Joe Malcolm, for example.
Yeah, Andy Craig was offensive. I know last year he was calling a lot of the plays.
Yeah.
And did a great job with that. So I think there's a great culture there on the staff. And while we're talking culture, I want to see the fans take another step forward this year.
That would be nice.
There have been times when I've been in the stands, and on third down when we need a defensive stop, I feel like I'm at the library. I'm like, this should not be. So fans, come on, let's make a little noise.
Yeah.
And let's take a step forward all together.
And that would just be even more fun, like from an announcing perspective as well.
That's right.
Because all the noise that you would usually get at a high school football game, that's coming from the student section.
Yeah.
And so, you know, they're behind the end zone. So if they're like backed up at like the 1 yard line with our student section behind them, that's probably when they're most effective. So yeah, fans, do listen to Andy like you listen to him when he preaches. So
or sleep.
Yeah, let's take a step forward as a fan base this year. But yeah, just kind of moving on from that. Do you have anything else you want to mention as well?
I love football season. I can't wait for August 29th. Last year we had great weather, just beautiful sunsets. It seemed like every Friday night. And I love it when Friday night lights are on. You can hear the band playing, the pork chops smell being grilled, and then being up in the broadcast booth is just a lot of fun. So I can't wait. August 29th, can't wait.
That's going to be a fun time. But, yeah, August 29th, that's the first game of the season, Reed Custer at home. And that actually just reminded me about the weather. My dad would always say how he loves football season because the first game of the year, everybody's out there, you know, the weather's nice, but when you get to like week 9 in like October, there's like barely anybody there because it's so cold. But
invest in a good heated hoodie. That's what you need. Come prepared.
Do you have one of those?
I do, yeah.
Really?
I figured I'm going to be outside a lot of my kids' sporting events, so yeah.
Oh yeah, because you have Silas playing in the program this year.
Yep, track season, baseball season.
Yeah.
Heated gear's essential.
Except during baseball and track, it's usually warmer at that point.
I don't know. Spring in Illinois is kind
Oh
of
yeah, that's true. But I just got back from Texas, so all I know is heat right now. But unless you have anything else to talk about, we can wrap it up.
Nope.
All right, then. Thank you for watching, and thank you, Andy, for stopping by and just being willing to talk about EPG football. I cannot wait for August 29th. It's, just over 3 weeks away now.
That's right.
Yeah, cannot wait. www.route24radio.com. Almost forgot my own link for a second. That's where you can access the radio broadcast where me and Andy will be on the mics August 29th and every game after that. So thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe, like the video, maybe comment if you love Andy being on the video. But yeah, we will see you next week, and take care.